How's it going, everyone? AlphaYGO back at it again, and I made a mistake in my last video. I forgot to include the combo portion, so that's what we're doing today. What we're gonna do is showcase what the combo does once you open it up with our different engines. The different engines we're gonna be touching on today are Instant Fusion, Rebellion, Nadir's, and Branded Fusion. So we're gonna go through each combo one at a time, and obviously these cards can be opened together to form even stronger combos, but I'm going to show you what each of them do by themselves alongside your Buster Blader engine. So starting off with Instant Fusion, what you're going to get yourself is your Millenniumizer Strip. And when you normal summon Buster Whelp, that's when you get to search pretty much restriction free. Get it? Restriction. So it's basically a negate and an extra body at the same time. So what we get to do is get a prologue, and we can link these two off now. The thing you want to link into can differ. You can either go into Cross Sheep or the Destruction Sword link just to get you all the extra other cards, such as the extra deck lock. But for this instance, we'll just go the Cross Sheep. If you have an extra extender, you can go both Destruction Link and the Cross Sheep, obviously, because they're super generic. Prologue, obviously you use the bricks, but once you go Synchro Infusion, the Cross Sheep will trigger to summon out the Restrict, and ending you on the skill drain lock plus a negate. Super simple, just from opening Instant Fusion right off the get-go. So for all intents and purposes, I'm just gonna keep these things in the grave, essentially saying, hey, basically we got prologue. A lot of these, you don't actually need Buster Whelp specifically, it's just an extra body. Any normal summon can do it as long as you have access to prologue, it's just either or. But now we're moving on to Rebellion, which is actually my favorite combo because we get to pitch Rebellion. We add the Saronir, and we're gonna turn the Buster Whelp into a Striker Dragon, and we're gonna use Saronir to get rid of the Buster Whelp. We're gonna use Rebellion to bring out itself out by getting rid of the Saronir, and we're just gonna use both their effects to dump the Regain and add the Beast. A lot of you know this combo from my last video from almost a year ago, and so we get to link these two off into the Hieratic Seal. Obviously, if you had more extenders, you could go again into some of the other links. Because your Destruction Link is a dragon, if you had the extra body, you could make Destruction Link and then into the Hieratic Seal. What the cool thing about ending on Seal here is obviously on end phase, we're gonna get ourselves a Regain. But on our opponent's turn, when we go Prologue, when we make the Synchro and the Buster Blader, we're gonna be able to tag the seals out, bounce a card, and get ourselves into Albaz. And the great thing about Albaz is it can now contact fuse with your opponent's monsters, which are now dragons because of the Buster Dragon, and we get to get ourselves into a AlphaYGO. We had a skill drain lockup, we bounced the card, we have both these back row, and we just took their monster for our own material on their turn. And the great thing about this is once they commit a monster, Regain will get back up the steal, turning the Branded Beast live, and you get to sack off the AlphaYGO, the pop card. Now end phase, AlphaYGO can either get you into that Instant Fusion or that Branded Fusion. So the follow-up, absolutely insane. Now Nadir's is interesting. Nadir's, a lot of branded players know this, but for the sake of just information, I'm just gonna showcase how Nadir Servant can combo as well. Obviously the most basic application is just dump a dragon right away, but there are a lot of cool things we can do with this Nadir Servant. The thing we wanna do with Nadir Servant is actually dump the airplane and make Striker Dragon in general because you wanna make sure you have a dragon engraved for your prologue. But let's say you had nothing else. You went Buster Whelp, you search Prologue, you make Striker Dragon, that's all you only play, and you go Nadir Servant. Nadir Servant sends the airplane, and on end phase, your airplane gets to summon out the Kit. Now, the great thing about Kit is, if you open one of these two cards, or if you open the extra deck lock, you get to put it back into your deck and search a branded card. Nadir Servant gets to search the Albaz, I forgot that part. So Kit put you back a Garnet, and it searches your branded card. The branded card you want to do in this combo is High Spirit, because keep in mind, we're still in the end phase, but this is a quick play. You can go High Spirit, pitch the Albaz plus a Albion, and Albion, still in end phase, is gonna set you or add you another branded card. So the thing you're gonna get is branded in red, and on your opponent's turn, you're just gonna use it to obviously fusion away. You can go the full mile of making the Rebellion into the Mirror Jade. For simplistic sake, let's just make the Mirror Jade right away, where we get to add back the Albaz, and we get to use it alongside, let's say, the airplane. Sorry everyone, I definitely goofed on this combo explaining it. You probably noticed I've been forgetting to add cards and put things where they should be. But the big mistake here was, in red, can't banish from grave. I literally made Striker Dragon for that exact reason, to get into the Mirror Jade. So just ignore me banishing the airplane. Back to the video. And we make a Mirror Jade. Obviously, all this time as well, this was able to circulate us dragons into the graveyard, right? We have the original Whelp, but even if we didn't, we would still have Albion from the Nadir combo. Even if worst case, these were gone, because you stuck Mirror Jade on the field, Mirror Jade just can use its effect to dump a dragon for the prologue to still be active. Brandon High Spirit also got to Searching Mercurier. So you have, from that Nadir Servant, you got yourself a Mirror Jade, plus the Mercurier. You also got to fuel your grave with dragons in more ways than one, and you got to put back a brick in the end. So that's kind of like why I like Nadir Servant in this deck, on top of the other applications like sending Entus just to like break your opponent's board. Last is the Brand Diffusion, and Brand Diffusion is obviously the most simplistic. Because of its restriction to locking diffusion, your options actually aren't too widespread, but it's still very powerful. Like we can do something like sending the extra lock plus the Albaz, and we can get ourselves into the Lebellion, pitch a card, tuck back the Lebellion, tuck back the Albaz, make that Mirror Jade. Obviously a fantastic card. It'll also, again, on our opponent's turn or whenever, dump us another dragon. And then we go prologue, we summon out the Fusion and the Synchro. And because of our Brand New Fusion that was able to put the extra deck lock in grave, we can use Synchro to equip it, lock them out the extra deck. That about pretty much sums up the combos. As you can see through a lot of different cards, they also work really well going second. All these engines help in a way to reset the board as much as possible. When the game is reset for both you and your opponent, well, get a prologue and put a skill drain on the board. I don't know what your opponent's gonna do on turn 3 to win the game right there. That's how this deck works, and I'm really glad I got to show it off. I really hope you all have fun playing it for yourselves, and bye-bye.